I wanted to hop back to Princess Diana's death and those messages in the trees, because I'm wondering what the coverage was in the media at that time. Were they covering anti-monarchy
Certainly the Mirror
sentiment?
was. And those pictures do need to be uncovered and used, because the Mirrors and the Guardian up to a point was. But the right-wing press, was talking about the flowers, not the messages. They were talking about the flowers. And for a little while, they kind of treated her with great fondness. They destroyed her. The press helped destroy her. We know that. But, there was this whole thing going on, I remember at one time before she died, when there were these debates, these awful debates on television, and I was asked to take part in one of them, about, she's had not one, but 2 Muslim lovers, okay? And what will happen if we have a Muslim stepfather to the boys? They were worrying about that. End of the world as they knew it, And the racism, it's utterly unaddressed. I got it firsthand from PHILLIP. I was on the governor at the Royal Shakespeare Company for 10 years. And of course, they're the patrons and they have to be revered. So you have to do your duty and turn up for these events. So I turned up for one event when the Queen and PHILLIP were visiting. And we were all supposed to line up. And he comes past, my husband is English, and he walks past me, he looks at me, he knows who I am. And he turns to him and he said, "Is she yours?" Is she? He made a face, and my husband said, "Yes, she's my wife."
Yeah.
And it was visceral,
And these sorts of things are said. Charles has had similar accusations.
Yeah.
There was Anita Sethi, the writer, again, another line-up, and he said, where are you from? And she said, Manchester. He said, you don't look like it, and walked off laughing, and left her stunned in silence. It's a common occurrence.
They all, and then they say, but look, the Prince's trust, and look, he helped make Idris Elba. Sorry, Idris Elba made Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think media coverage is so key, because I know that from reading your book, that anecdote.
Yeah.
And where do you see that? Yeah, most people watch BBC News or Channel 4 News or Sky, or get their paper that that comes in. You don't hear about that. And I think so many British people are egalitarians and anti-racist and not sexist, actually. Yeah. I think we're quite a progressive country, but you can still have lots of people who will say, oh, but the monarchy, they're there, they're not doing any harm.
My husband was like that, and he's English, working class, and you should hear him now. Living with me has been the best thing for him. Honestly, how can you just sit back and say you're a socialist? How do you just shrug your shoulders? You cannot be a democracy if you're saying this bunch are more equal than the rest of us. Oh, who do you want then? President Trump? No, you just know your facts. We're talking about a performative head of state, who cuts ribbons, what Charles does. So we're talking about Mary Robinson in Ireland. We're talking about all those other really distinguished people in many European states.